Welcome back. It's 29 minutes gone past 4 o'clock. Discussions continue on Hard Facts, originally live from your number one talk station, 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Dial. And let's talk. And the matter once again, mock parents condemn JAMB over malfunctioned ICT facilities. Some parents, or prospective admission seekers who wrote the Joint Admission Matriculation Board's mock examination on Thursday in Ekiti State, grumbled over technical hitches encountered during the exercise. An aggrieved parent had this to say: the essence of this mock examination is for applicants to get cognate experiences and do a self-examination based on the outcomes. But how do you do a fair assessment of the applicant under this tough condition? Applicants who came with the intention to start an examination at 7 a.m. ended up starting at 2 to 3 p.m. This was highly disappointing and could affect their performances. The JAMB authority must correct this anomaly before the coming examination. We are also advising that only the centres with enough spaces should be designated for such examination in future. And a technical officer at Boesti ICT Centre, who claimed anonymity, blamed the situation on JAMB. The source said the failure had started manifesting since Thursday, when the federal government's body could not ascertain the exact software to use in conducting the mock. Why has JAMB's UTME exam continued to be a harrowing experience for students and guardians? And what was your experience with the exam if you were a part of it? Is as one who took the exam yourself, or parents or guardians who want to take their children awards to go write the exam? 070 0923 0923, or better still, call 0817 923 0002 or 0817 923 0007. Join me via Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, you're welcome.
Dario, good evening.
All right, go ahead.
My name is Isaac Owadino, and I'm a school administrator.
You're welcome, go ahead.
All right. Dario, the issue of JAMB has three major problems. One is from the supply side, the other one is from the demand side, and of course, the other one is the point of equilibrium. Let me explain. The supply side is that there are so many people who are writing JAMB on a yearly basis. So for that reason, JAMB feels that there is a very huge market, for every admission season. So it turns out to be that over 65% of applicants are not admitted, and they come back again the next year. So that actually is responsible for the lackluster performance of JAMB, because they know that the market is always there. It's not competitive. Now, from the demand side, you will actually see to it that year in, year out, as more people go in for JAMB, JAMB is not creative. Just like your first caller actually said, that we have a lot of people there who are actually too old to manage the system. What we have in JAMB is that it has turned out to be like every other federal government agency. And you know that the issue of bureaucracy is there. Now, with bureaucracy comes red tapeism, and that means that people will continue to do one job repetitively, which is actually anti-creativity. That's another side to it. The point of equilibrium is the franchising of JAMB to centers. And now some of these centers that JAMB has been franchised to, they don't have the facility. All they just see is that they want to make money. Now, their chairs are just nothing to write home about. The environment is not sound. And if you stay in their hall, what you call the CBT hall, even the fumes from the generator will fill your nose, that you will be, disturbed. You are not composed to write the exam. Cumulatively, that's actually the point of equilibrium. All these things are what could have been solved before the exam began. Now, we have actually imbibed the idea of what is happening with ICT with respect to INET and Co. Whatever you do, don't worry. Every year, you keep promising that there will be an improvement. But certainly, they don't take the step to do it. That is why JAMB is not performing. About 16 of my students wrote the exam yesterday. And it's an apology that as at 7 o'clock yesterday, they didn't write. And they came back to the school to tell me that we couldn't have attempted that venture if we knew that was what was going to happen. So government should look deeply into it. We have the right people and at the right time to do the job. It's just that we have introduced bureaucracy into this thing, and that is what is killing JAMB as a body. Thank you.
All right, now before you go, you've identified three key problems with the process so far. Do you have solutions to these problems? And can you turn off your radio set, please?
Yes, the solution is very Dial. The first thing you do is that, like I said, we must learn how to hire the right people to do the job. The mere fact that somebody is a university professor does not necessarily mean that he can actually do well in the process of recruitment. You know, JAMB examination can actually be contracted out to other bodies, just like what happens to SAT, you know, to serve as private candidates. And it holds simultaneously anywhere in the world, at every point in time, even the registration is seamless. So if we adopt the style that TOEFL and SAT they are using in of course, that will be a solution. And then secondly, the people who actually are involved in franchises that the franchise of JAMB is given to, we should look at their background. Some of them are not educationists, they are businessmen, they are opportunists. The mere fact that they have access, okay, by reason of space in their facility, does not necessarily qualify them to actually register children for examination. These are some of the hitches responsible for it, because if we have the right people, they will know that time is money. And education without time is actually nonsense.
Now, when you talk about let's talk about what you mentioned initially as well. Those 3 points you mentioned. You started with the was it the supply side?
The supply side,
exactly. And you say that the numbers keep increasing annually for those who want to write the examination, and JAMB knows there's no competition. Now, when you say there's no competition, you're referring to JAMB's seeming monopoly of the entrance examination.
JAMB has monopoly over admission, because there's no other statutory body that is permitted to do that. Even when universities are advocating that they should be allowed to use, other methods for admission, JAMB has actually maintained this monopoly for 37 years.
But that is not unlike what you have in other countries of the world as well, who also have one body that examines students who want to get into the tertiary institutions.
It's not like what we have in other countries. But what happens is that in other countries, they have so developed a system that individual universities are allowed to conduct, entrance into their listing. There's a central body like SAT. Once you pass the exam, you are allowed to actually choose the school of your choice. The other things are
yes, but what I'm saying is, yes, the schools can also set some other things as well. What I'm saying is they also have a central body like we do here.
So the difference between their central body and our own central body here is that they have actually operationalized their system. Their system is predictable. They are actually reliable. You can actually work with real time. I think the problem of JAMB is our inability to operate at real time. That is actually the greatest problem parents face with respect to that yesterday incident.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, Dio. Have a nice day.
You as well. Hello, Hard Fact, welcome.
Yeah, Dio, good evening.
Go ahead, please.
Whichever. Although my friend called me a similar experience when he brought his child to write 7 o'clock until 3 o'clock when the thing came up. But I think, in as much we want to be very critical about issues in the country, I also think that sometimes we make this mistake of trying to run when we have not worked. It's a general problem. We want to run when we have not worked. Why don't we do those things that suits our environment? That they're doing something in London, doing in UK, in other places. Does it mean that it's also peculiar, it must be peculiar to us in this country? That's my question. Look at the issue of beavers. INEC came up, beavers, it must be beavers. Spend billions of naira. At the end of the day, we cannot actualize it. Why can't we work? Follow the natural principle and pattern in life. Do that we will evolve in our own system,
what natural principle are you referring to? Because once again, when I said just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. I recounted my experience when I started this conversation. As a much younger person writing the UTME exam, all of the innovations and technologies that JAMB has now did not exist at that time. Yet it was a very cumbersome process.
That's what I'm saying. When we wrote our time, was it convenient for us? We would have improved on it. Not necessarily because we want to go digital. Because like I keep saying, it's a continuous improvement. Okay, let me even point out one thing, even in your studio there. Are you aware that sometimes when you are programming an advanced country, have you noticed it? So we must continue to improve even where we know we have shortcomings. I'm not being overcritical.
You know what? Talking about my industry, I know I've been into a radio studio that existed, that was set up decades ago, maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, and there is no way. There is nowhere at all you can compare a modern studio to the studios that existed back then. There is no basis for comparison at all. And by the way, radio stations function a lot better than they did back then.
That's what I'm telling you. Just like the way we're trying to also improve in the JAMB. Are you also telling me that the radio stations we have in Nigeria now can compete with anyone in the world, like BBC and CNN?
I'm not sure. I think you've deviated from the point of the conversation. Really, I mean, what is the basis for comparing radio stations? On what basis? On what basis are you comparing? My question to you is: on what basis are you comparing radio stations in Nigeria with BBC, for example? What is the yardstick for the measurement here?
In terms of programming and everything.
Once again,
they don't just come and talk as news anyhow. And we talk about, you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about because once again the what you are considering or discussing right now, I still maintain is a deviation of sorts from what the conversation is about.
I'm trying to say that it's a continuous improvement thing. We shouldn't be so critical about our system. We have to be improving on it. If there are 100 stations in the world, and Nigeria can't come anywhere near it, they are worth it.
I don't know what you're talking about, really. I'm definitely not aware of what you think I'm aware of. Hello, Hot Factor, welcome. Please go on. We got 90 minutes to go before 4 o'clock and... pardon me, before 5 o'clock, rather. 19 to go before 5 o'clock. We got news updates about 5. Let's get your takes on the current conversation as to why can't JAMB conduct a seamless examination? And I don't understand it, saying that, we must learn to... We're talking about conducting an exam. I mean, you're not reinventing the wheel. We're not saying that you should fly Nigerians to Mars or to the moon. Conduct an examination. We have bodies that conduct examinations here in Nigeria and conduct them seamlessly. In Nigeria, conducted by Nigerians. It's happening. But we're not saying that somebody went to the UK or went to the US and saw seamless examination and said, "Wow," and then came back to Nigeria and told us, "Oh my goodness, can you all believe this?" And we say, "What did you see?" He said, "Can you imagine? They are conducting seamless examinations in the US, or my people." I did not believe it. No, I mean, really, we are no strangers to examinations being conducted properly because they happen here in Nigeria with certain examinations, especially privately conducted examinations. They happen here already. And I'm not even talking about not necessarily international exams like TOEFL or the SATs, even indigenous examinations, privately conducted ones. That happen seamlessly in Nigeria here, organized by Nigerians. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello, good evening, Dio.
Hi, go ahead.
It's Ernest on the line.
You're welcome.
Dio, will you guess one of the common problems we've been having in this country over the years is that of sincerity. Let's say, for instance, the just last concluded elections, Dio. Why did the givers and the rest of instruments used or were used paid? It's because of sincerity. Even the INEC, the stories they were telling Nigerians we're going to conduct credible elections, they were not sincere. They were just saying those things formality. So the reason why we paid or we are still failing as a nation is nobody wants to be sincere. So if this technology works over there in the US, in other places, we know what there if we are sincere. It's just about we are not being sincere, we are not being truthful, we are not being, in fact, I don't even know. But we are having a lot of problems in our own social system. Nobody wants to be sincere. Nobody wants to be truthful. So tell me, this same technology they use in UK, this thing will work. Coming to Nigeria, it will not work. Why? It's because people are not willing to do the right thing.
That's a good question.
Because nobody wants to get it right. They just go out there telling lies, deceiving themselves by themselves. Look at before the currency crisis. The state council, what did they call them? They had meetings and they resolved and said the next day something will happen. They are just doing that for formality. Couple of weeks, much later, nothing happened because they were not sincere. They were just going there just for formality's sake. Which you imagine that people will decide what they want to do and they just come on air or come over there and say a different thing. Then they go back to what they've agreed earlier and just deceiving themselves by themselves. So that we are really having a problem of sincerity in this context. Yeah.
Once again, join the conversation via Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. On Facebook, Glory John goes, why can't things just work perfectly well in the educational sector? We're yet to write JAMB and this kind of abnormalities are happening. Just mock exam, students are experiencing this malfunctioning of the systems, including mock officials arriving late before the exam and also keeping the students waiting for long periods. Are we really sure this upcoming JAMB will go well for us? We just hope that things will work out well for us. Please let the needful be done. Thank you. Good evening. JAMB should even be scrapped because it's a useless exam. Why do we still need to write aptitude exam after JAMB? That makes it a useless exam. That's from Emmy. What do you expect from a system where those fighting malpractice are the same people practicing it? Reference to the former JAMB registrar. That's from Hope. That's an interesting point, really. Christy goes, good afternoon, Dio. At least the candidates managed to write at all, but in 2017, my kids paid, and at the centres, JAMB never showed up for the mock exams. Wow. From the day you wrote your own JAMB and now what has changed in the Nigerian system? The hard fact is that no nation progresses in impunity and no nation progresses in error. The obvious fact is that Nigeria's problem is leadership. And if we don't get leadership right, we'll continue to read the Book of Lamentations and that's from Chidi. The students were unduly ruffled by the delay in timeline, and for the problem with the software, the JAMB not test run the software prior to the scheduled exam. That's from Donald. I mean, it's a good question, really. JAMB's BVAS probably went off, and the mock exam eventually became a mocking experience. The problem with Nigerian system is that there are people who benefit when things are not working well. These problems are man-made, and the solutions are not far-fetched. Qualified people in key positions is the key, and that's from Joe. JAMB is only interested in the money they will get and how much to give to federal government. They are simply not ready for anything. For me, JAMB should be stopped because they are only a means of making money. That's from Ezekiel. About 12 more minutes to go. Line still open, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
See, I think the problem with this JAMB issue is that it's not with the people, that's, should I say, the staff who are actually there. Because last 2 years, that's 2020, I took my brother there to ride and to actually register. And you couldn't even believe that the workers, that's the staff, the people that are registering, don't even know what to do on the system. They don't even know how to operate it. Some of them even have issues with even seeing the system. So, and this thing that has to do with JAMB is something that they need to, should I say, they need to wipe out those old people that are still there and at least let them retire.
What do you mean by wipe out?
No, what I mean is at least they need to retire some of them. Some of them are actually meant to retire. Like when I wrote in 2015, the people that I still saw then that time are still the same people that are still there. So I think if they can actually retire them, and then the younger ones will take over, it will actually improve certain issues.
Did you write the mock exam?
No, I mean in 2015 when I wrote. My brother wrote.
Okay, what was your brother's experience?
No, he didn't have issues like that because he wrote in Umaya. He said everything was good. But the registration process was a very stressful one. It has always been like that. So thank you.
You're welcome. Via Facebook, K Order goes, hello there. We can't conduct exams seamlessly. We can't conduct elections seamlessly. We can't conduct census seamlessly. Why? Because the system is rigged from the onset. Hello.
Hello, Dayo. Good afternoon.
You're welcome. Go on.
Yeah, Comrade SBS Asif. I'm calling from
Hello. 9.3.
Hello, good afternoon, Dayo.
You're welcome. Go ahead, please.
All right. My name is Dennis. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, talking about my son was one of those that wrote the common entrance yesterday.
Okay.
And it was not a funny experience. First of all, we live in Port Harcourt towards the greater. They gave him a center in LMA. For whatever reason, they gave him a center in LMA. He was supposed to ride by 7 o'clock.
Wow.
Woke up very early, ran down to LMA, got there. It was past 7 when we got there. They were still checking in the kids to ride by 7 o'clock. So he went in, sat down there. They came out about 10 o'clock, and I thought, oh, you're done. And he said, no, they're not done. They said, well, there was some technical problem, that they should wait till 12 o'clock.
Wow.
So at that point, I was really losing my patience. So I was like, look, do you want to write or do you want to go? He said he wants to stay and write. I said, okay, no problem, let's wait. They said they should come back by 12. There was another set that was supposed to write by 9. Those guys went in, they wrote at some time. So we came back by 12 o'clock. They went in by 12 o'clock, and my expectation was, okay, 2 hours, they should be done by 2. By 12 o'clock, I strolled down to the school, and they said they had not started.
Wow.
They had not started by 2 o'clock. And we waited. It was past 3 that they eventually started. And I think he came out to 5, just a few minutes to 5. That's when they had finished. And I said, well, what happened? And so it was a long story, but I don't know. So just like what one of the callers said, Isaac, JAMB is comfortable because they're a monopoly. And Nigeria is the way it is. Nobody gets punished for anything. Nobody's going to ask anybody any questions, right? Parents have paid money to JAMB to write mock exams. JAMB can afford to, do whatever they like. And they'll come up eventually and give one excuse, and maybe if we're lucky, they'll come up and say, oh, we're sorry about it, and that'll be it.
And they'll promise...
Nobody's going to get punished for it.
And they'll promise to get it right the next time.
Oh, yeah, they always promise to get it right the next time, And, so we as the people, we have a problem. One of the callers that called said we shouldn't be too critical. And that's a very big problem for us in Nigeria. We always make excuses for people in position, people in power. We always make excuses for them. Oh, he's a human being. Oh, you shouldn't ask him that. Oh, would you do it any better? We expect that he will do it better, and that's why he's in that position in the first place. Technology is good. I mean, we can't continue to do things the old ways, right? So we need to move forward. But we also need to put the right people in position if we want to move forward. If we really want to move forward and not just pretend that we're moving forward, which is what we're doing right now. BVAT is a clear example. JAMB is another clear example. We're just pretending that we're moving forward, and we're not really doing anything. Maybe someday you wake up one day and see that JAMB will claim that, oh, they generated X amount of money. Everybody clapped for them that they generated money.
Absolutely.
And nobody asked, what did people get for that money you generated? People are suffering every day. And there has been this clamor, not just today. It's been a long time. There's been this clamor for JAMB. Let's make JAMB every 3 years. Let it be valid for 3 years. Let it be valid for longer. But no. JAMB wants to make that money from you every year.
The revenue will drop, really. Yeah. And we need the revenue. You know, we need the revenue to build good roads and infrastructure. But great to hear from you, though, and wish your son the very best.
Thank you.
I have to go for commercial break now, so wrapping up this conversation. Top of the hour at 5 o'clock, the news update comes up. When I return, did the River State Task Force on Flood Disaster Management or something like that attend to your community if you were affected by it? The man in charge says they did. I'd like to get your experience. Stick around, to be right back in a bit.